Okay, we're on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Season 2 is out. Life's been busy, so hence why we're late, but we're back now. I'm Ray Pharoah.
And I'm Danny Hayter, and it's good to be back on the mic, as they say.
DJ Danny Hayter.
Yeah, back in the room. Yeah, glad to be back. Yeah, again, as Ray said, apologies if we've taken a while, and I think anyone that maybe is getting back to work or owns a small business or anything like that, obviously it's taken a little bit of time to find some space to fit these types of things in. But yeah, it's so good that we're finally back in the room.
Cool. Yeah, so this season is the season of the Legion podcast. This one is all about fitness, and that's what we've named it. So all things fitness. So we're going to start with the fitness challenge podcast, and then we're going to do stuff like the benefits of nutrition, independent training at independent gyms, training programs, well-being, mental health, everything there is of fitness. We're going to try to cover in this season 2.
Yeah, nice follow on from season 1, really, because I think we delved quite deeply into the mental health side of what, the mental health issues that some people faced and struggled with, and how fitness was a really big player in the recovery. So we really want to now delve really deep into the ins and outs of the fitness world and what helps make people tick, along with the nutrition side of it that is basically walks hand in hand with fitness. So yeah, looking forward to it. So without further ado, we're going to welcome our first guest of season 2, which is Mr. John Walker. So John, welcome to the Legion Report podcast.
Cheers. How you all doing?
Welcome, John. Yeah, all good, mate.
Good. Yeah, so
how are you? How are you? So before, in fact, we should probably mention that obviously one of the big subject of our first podcast is fitness challenges, and some of the reason behind fitness challenges, but also some of the mentalities behind why people are doing it. Sometimes, obviously, in regards to charities or raising money for certain causes. So this is a big one, guys, and obviously our host Ray is part of this one as well. And this is the 24-hour Murph challenge, which is fucking ridiculous, to be honest. But this is incredible. And John, John, where did this come from, mate? What's going on? Where did this challenge sort of originate from, and why Murph? Why 24 hours?
I think, like always, just sort of, training all the time, as a lot of us do that go down to the gym and, putting the hours in and pushing yourself. And, every time that I do that, I always think, I wish I could, do something that would sort of push the boundaries, or, I'd like to do something that stands out, to just, everyday fitness or anything like that, So there's always been something in my head like, oh, would it be like you see guys rowing around the world or doing something extravagant, So I've always thought, oh, maybe go on to Bear Grylls or do something like that, And I've thought that from maybe early sort of 20s and onwards, and I've applied for like the likes of Bear Grylls thing to go to the island a couple of times and never like followed up with it all the way, or but like the likes of that SAS, Who Dares Wins and things like that, So I've always wanted to do something that's been sort of extravagant or big, and just see what I can take, mentally and physically, because you push yourself, and I like to personally push myself, and I've never sort of found what the boundary is for that, where the limit is. So I think the idea came from was obviously with being offshore, where I work away, quite often, and I think I'm training all the time there, so I like to set goals when I go away for 3 weeks, and try and achieve a certain amount of things while I'm there. And for this one in particular, for a few weeks or a few trips in a row, what I was doing was basically similar to Murph, but every lunchtime I'd go in, and instead of just sitting down or chilling out in the afternoon through my lunch break, I thought I'll go and do like a Murph, every day for 3 weeks on top of like my evening training, and just to see the results. So every lunchtime I'd go in and I just do nothing like hectic, and it's not a full Murph. I exclude the run, but I just do sort of 10 pull-ups, 20 press-ups, and 30 squats 10 times through. And while doing that for, I don't know, my third trip away, I'd obviously seen Sian's story, because she was diagnosed in 2018. So I'd seen that. And then while doing that, I thought, do this all the time, train all the time, and I don't use it for anything. I'm not particularly training for an event. I'm just doing it for my own well-being. But it would be nice to actually train and then give that to someone, or use it for something.
Yeah.
And then while just doing the Murph, I think I was like in the zone, listening to music, doing the Murph, and then I thought, what, I could probably do this for 24 hours, not knowing that it had been done already, or that people do Murph for, I think that at the time I knew someone had done 8 rounds of it, but I didn't know that it had been done for 24 hours already. So I thought, what, I think I can do this constantly for 24 hours. And then sort of just dawned on the idea, and kept working out and thinking, I think, it feels possible, if I'm just going at a steady pace, keep going like that. And I think, I could do something like that. So that's where the idea came from.
So just so the listeners or viewers, if you are watching, just give us a quick what is Murph? For anyone that doesn't know, can you just give us a quick insight to the workout Murph?
Yeah, so it's dedicated to Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who died in Afghanistan, and it's a renowned CrossFit workout. And the workout itself is a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 press-ups, 300 squats, and followed by a 1 mile run with 10 kg or 20-pound weighted vest. And the idea of that is to do that for time, as quick as you can for a round. And I think generally they do that every year at CrossFit gyms, in memory of Michael Murphy. So that's what it is, basically, the workout in general.
Wow, 24 hours of that.
24 hours of pain.
Yeah. So the next question, really, obviously you mentioned it very briefly then, regarding Sian and Sian's story, and this is probably your guys' reason why, I guess, as to why this is so important for you to do, and why you've trained so hard, which we'll get into in a minute. So can you just tell us a little bit about Sian's story and just sort of make that more sort of aware?
So she was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 2018, and I remember when the news was sort of broke out, because I know Sian personally, and her parents from the gym, and her father's taught my youngest daughter, or coached her at the gym, and we would always see her there. My little boy Jack, she would always come up to him and pick him up and cuddle him and give him attention. So we knew her well, and she was always really affectionate with Jack. She's a lovely girl. And when that news broke, that my wife told me, it was devastating, to hear that. You think of your own kids at the time, when you hear something like that, how you think, geez, how does a child comprehend something like that, and how do you comfort a child, I suppose, when they've been told something like that. She's had that condition for the last few years now, and she was initially told that she wouldn't make her 16th birthday, which she made. She also had when she got diagnosed, she set a bucket list of all the things she'd like to achieve, to make memories for her and her family. So she started going through this list, and I think the reason why I thought it would be a good sort of idea to continue raising funds for us because I hadn't heard much more of it. I knew of the story, and I thought it'd be nice to do that for her, and then sort of raise more funds so that she can continue it. I'd spoken to my wife and said, look, do you know if she's ticked all those sort of list off completely, and we'd asked Matt, and she hadn't. She'd like to have done another sort of bungee jump or a skydive and things like that, So she seems quite adventurous, and she like an adrenaline junkie. So yeah, the aim was to try and raise as much funds for her as possible so that she could try and tick these the items off her bucket list and make these memories with her family, with the time that she's got.
Yeah, it's an amazing cause. I know you mentioned to me previously as well that she is obviously a gym goer, went to the gymnastics, and also is would like to, if possible, maybe come and get involved as if she can on the day, which is Saturday the 12th. She can come and get involved in some way, which would be an amazing thing to see. And hats off to you guys, and I'm sure everyone who's listening would say the same thing. To do what you're doing, to put yourself through that, I'd probably say, and you'd probably say the same, that it's nothing compared to what Sian's going through in her family. But to raise the money and hopefully, let's say, help tick off that bucket list would be incredible.
Definitely. And at the time, I thought, well, I'd like to do this challenge, but I don't want to be doing it on my own, So I knew that there was only one person to call at the time, and that was Ray, whose name got pulled out of the hat.
They're ready.
Stupid enough to say yes.
Yeah, basically.
Was there three names in the hat? Was Ray Pharoah?
Yeah, basically. And transformation. No, I knew.
Amazing.
We've done a comp before in particular that we spoke about, box rocks, that we placed second in, which is always a harsh reminder of the fact that you didn't come first. But there was a particular workout that we did where we were sort of behind in the cards, and the guys were ahead of us, and just knowing what Ray's capabilities are with his press ups and his pull ups and squats, very much likewise myself. They're pretty easy movements for us, so we ended up pulling it back and taking the lead and blasting through it. And that's always been like in my head, that how much we pulled that ahead of those guys. It was obviously a big team effort, but that one workout in particular, we just absolutely destroyed them. So
it was basically I think it was four girl workout, CrossFit workouts, and I can't remember the actual workout, but it was like pairs. You each had a workout each, and you moved on as you went through the pairs. So I think one of them was Nancy with the overhead squats and the running, and then something else, and then it was us, me and John. The third one we were doing Barbara. And our team had dropped right behind. I think it was the first one, the Nancy one, they messed up on the run somehow. I think it was raining, wasn't it? Up or something. We got really behind. And then when it come to me and John do the pull-ups and the press-ups and the squats, we came back and took over and took the lead. And I remember we always talk about it, don't we, John? We just absolutely smashed that workout, and people were just looking over going. And I remember John was just doing strict pull-ups, and everyone was going, "That guy's doing strict pull-ups. It never lasts that long," and he just kept.
Still doing them now.
Yeah. It was good.
High volume.
Yeah.
So you roped. I say roped. I'm not sure you were roped, and I think you probably got asked once and went, "Yep, let's do it." Not only for the reason, but also the workout and the fact that you love a challenge as well. So Ray, tell us a little bit about why you said yes, I guess, to John's incredible invite.
Well, John he softened the blow. John did. He didn't actually tell me what the workout was. He said, "I've got this idea, but I'm not sure it's possible." And then he said, "And this is the reason why I want to do it." So he sent me Sian's story, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to say yes now because of the story, because I can't say no. But I'm a bit worried that you don't think it's possible, knowing how fit you are." So now you got to tell me what it is. So when he told me, I was like, and the thing is, we've just been in lockdown, so I hadn't had a pull-up bar in lockdown, so I hadn't done any pull-ups. I've done like a couple of I had a beam at home, so I was doing them on my fingertips, and it was unbearable. It was just slicing through my fingers. So I just didn't
Door
bother.
frames.
Yeah, I just didn't bother doing pull-ups. So I was a little bit worried on that side of things.
Yeah.
So I said, John, I'm gonna need, a couple of months at least just to get my pull-ups up and get my fitness up again.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's sort it out. So I wrote a program, just progressively built my pull-ups or press-ups up over the weeks. And we've been quite fortunate. John's been coming back from work quite a bit. And we just spent the last 4 weeks just hammering it out. And that was like a lot of people say about the challenge, but the lead up to anything like this, trying to get fit and strong for a challenge like this is also quite, well, I'd say it was tough, very tough, some of the sessions we had. But you want to make it tough, but you don't want to get yourself injured so you can't do the challenge in the end. It's a fine line to walk across, and it's about progressively building that volume up as you get to your end goal. And it's the same as any training, really. Any training you want to do, if you want to you look at your goal, and then what you do is just reverse it back, and then you proceed on your journey or your path where you want to go.
So the challenge is set. The program is on its way, or is starting to be, drawn up. Tell us a little bit about the training itself. So I'd like to know, and maybe the guys at home, just about whether you potentially got to a point where you maybe had some doubts, whether you got some with their little niggles and things like that maybe crept in. I also wanted to know a little bit about the mental side of a challenge like this, because this is you're going to go into, like you said there about the training, you can only train to a certain point, that you're then going to go beyond into the unknown. And I just want to know what your sort of your mental thoughts are around that.
So first of all, we started, obviously my biggest worry was pull-ups. I haven't done any pull-ups for so long, for the whole of lockdown. So I was really tunnel vision on that, and I was just thinking, I've got to get my pull-up volume up. And then I think me and John, we did a double Murph, didn't we? We decided to do a double Murph, see how that was. And it wasn't the pull-ups, it was the legs felt a bit heavy. And then we did, a couple of weeks later, we did a triple one, and our legs was like lead.
Yeah, blowing out.
John said, we need to run. We need to do more running. And I was like, so right, that was quickly put into the program. And what we wanted to do, we didn't want to it wasn't about getting fast at running. It was just time under tension, being on your feet. Didn't matter about the pace we were sort of looking at was the pace that we would be running the mile runs at. And with a vest on for 24 hours, you don't run that fast. You want to be looking at something along the lines of 9-10 minute miles. It probably gets slower as we go into the challenge, but that's the sort of work effort we wanted to put in. So we got basically, we knew that pace in our head, in our body. So we did a lot of 10-mile runs. We did a 15-mile run, John. That's still in our head at the moment. So we got up one morning. It was the hottest week, and we got up for this 15-mile run, and we just I had a drop of water and just went out. I was like, what should we do? We just kept on running. We did about 15 miles. But, mate, within 2 miles, we were drenched, soaked all the way through. It's red hot, 6 o'clock in the morning. It was red hot, pissing with sweat, just draining out of us. We were
There wasn't a breath of wind.
There wasn't no wind, mate. No wind. Even one long seafront, and it was just hot air, wasn't it, blowing into us?
Yeah.
But we already set our mind we were going to do 15, so we went all the way around Portsmouth. And by the end of it, mate, I won't lie, 2 miles left, I was getting towards John's house, and my head was wobbling around. I was hanging out. I was reaching. We just had water. I was in bits while John. I was like, fuck, just keep going, got to keep going. But when we finished it, I had some water. Again, we talked about this, and we've done a few mistakes over the training, but that's what training's for. Training's for making mistakes. As long as you're not getting injured from it, your lessons learned. Yeah, we should have probably took some water, but also we took our body through. So definitely, like the last 5 miles of that run, we took our body through probably uncharted territory, which is definitely what we're going to be doing in a 24-hour challenge. There's going to be so you can't train for a 24-hour challenge unless you do 24 hours. So you don't know. We don't know. We might get to 2 o'clock in the morning and we'll be in that same sort of state, heads buzzing around, feeling sick.
Yeah.
The lucky thing is we're near the tap, we're near food. We're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be able to switch our head into it and keep going.
Yeah.
So I guess that just comes into, you said there about training and the good, the good part of training is that you've got to have maybe a little bit of failure in training, because that sort of shows you where you're at and what you need to change and what needs to develop. And I think that just shows that even if it's a challenge or if you've set your mind to something, I think people need to remember that you have to fail, because otherwise you'll never be able to keep, putting that marker in the ground to go, right, there's my marker now, there's my marker there's my marker there. And then you just turn around and look back at all those markers previously and go, all the times that I failed and look where I am now, type of thing. So
I try to believe, I actually, with failing, I don't actually call it failing anymore. So what I call is lessons learned. And I tend to,
yeah, it's good.
during this I think you only fail if you repeat the same mistakes. That's what I believe. In my head, that's what I believe. And I think we were seeking to learn lessons in training. We wanted to learn those lessons in training, so that when it comes to the day, hopefully we'd iron everything out. We've tested our mind where it should be. There's, like I say, it is going to be uncharted territory that we're going to enter. But a lot of the mental and physical stuff we should have put in and got into a good space of learning what we need to do for this challenge.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was like the conditioning. I think we've conditioned our bodies enough to handle the volume. Although I think there'll come a point where we'll go past that level of conditioning. We've conditioned it so much, and I think you can only condition it so much, and then the rest of it, who knows? We'll go into uncharted waters again, and then you'll soon see what your body's going to do, and who knows what we'll feel like or what we're going to go through. I'm sure it's not going to be pleasant at times, and yeah, there is always the chance that you'll fail at something like this when you're doing an event like that. We don't want to, and we both want to complete it, and we both want to. The current world record or unofficial world record is 17 rounds, and we've set the bar, and we'd like to get through that and get through 17 rounds. Just because we're competitive, and I think we've also seen that we've done 5 rounds, and we did that under 4 hours, or just, you can say 4 hours, but doing 5 rounds in that 4 hours was a good insight for both of us to see, we finished it, we both felt good. You sort of broke sweat, but then you weren't really sweating a hell of a lot anymore. You just felt comfortable. You were sort of like in the zone. I suppose like a marathon runner or anyone that does a long distance sport, then they're just sort of comfortable within those movements, and that's what was happening there in those 5 rounds. So I say there will come a point though where we pass the 5, 6, 7, going past that, and we've not been there yet. So we'll see once we get there what we're going to feel like.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think with all the correct sort of taking the fluids and eating correctly, then
Yeah.
that's the best thing that we can do, obviously on the day, you know. But we still don't know, you know, if you're going to start getting massive fatigue or cramps or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I think both of us are probably dumb enough to just keep pushing on through. But yeah, I won't personally give up. You know, I want to keep going, and that's the idea for
Yeah.
myself, is to push myself, and I want to see how much I can take. You know, where's the point where I have to say, well, there's
That's it.
I can't physically do it anymore. But hopefully it doesn't get to that point, you know, because I think we've put in the conditioning and the work that we need to go as far as we can.
You said it at the top about taking your body to a point that it's maybe never been before, and how far can it go? And I think that goes for mentally as well as physically, like you said. So it's going to be interesting, I think, for both of you to see that, isn't it? You know, it's going to be an interesting insight for you both to see personally how far you can take this, how far your body's going to take it, how you're going to react mentally with the challenge itself.
Lack of sleep, and you know,
that's lack of sleep is going to be
I've got to say, like,
higher.
since we've been training for this, like, I've done a few CrossFit competitions and stuff like that, and I had good fun and enjoyed them. But I've never, since I've left the army, I've never really challenged myself, like really something that's where people go, really, you doing that? That sounds crazy. I haven't done that for such a long time. I left the army 15 years ago, but since we've been training for this, there's like that fire that's been reignited again. And I was saying to John, it was the other week, saying I feel alive again, if that makes sense. I feel like there's something inside me just desperate to get hold of this challenge and just want to do my best at it. Do you know what I mean? And let's say it's for Sian as well. It's not just us. It's such a good why. That's been getting me up every morning. Every time we knew we had a bad training session to come, knew training session we were gonna suffer. Just to think of that brave girl, and you know what she's going through is nothing compared to when we did that challenge on Saturday, right? Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, that all finishes. Yeah, we feel like shit for probably a week. You know, our hands will be tight. That's it. It's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That family that's I don't even want to go down. You know what I'm saying. Everyone knows what I'm saying when they listen.
Yeah.
So, without getting upset, just there's people out there, and if me and John, we've said it, if we can do something with our fitness to help people, then that's what we want to do. And I feel like that's a worthy cause, and it just feels like the right thing to do, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like I personally feel like I feel better when I train, you know, as I'm sure everyone does that goes and does a workout, and you feel great afterwards, you know. So yeah, we definitely get something out of it ourselves, you know, by doing this, you know, that sense of achievement. And like you say, like coming out of the military, or, you know, things that you've done through your life, sometimes it just feels like like for me personally, it feels like your life sort of goes like stagnant in a way, you know. You know, you have kids, and then you've been doing all these things up to it, but there's nothing else anymore, you know, or just coasting, and then thinking, oh, what can I do? You're just living in everyday life, and you know, thinking of something to do. And with this, it's nice for me to be able to challenge myself and think, well, this is a big thing, you know, that I can be proud of myself, you know, and at least come away with it with hopefully a sense of achievement at the end of it, you know, and feel like I've done something again. And then I'll probably start searching for the next thing, you know, because it probably never stops. But no, it is that's the way that like I see it, you know, just sort of looking for something to push myself and feel my own sort of sense of achievement. And the fact that we can help Sian and this is for her, then it's great to be able to do that and help someone, because I'd like to think, if my kids ever ended up something like that, that there was someone that would be like that would do something for my kids, and I'm sure everyone would, so it was never going to be like people have said, oh, why didn't you just do 12 hours, or why does it have to be 24, and why do you have to do, because the idea behind it is that, for me, I want people to go to bed, like go home while we're still working, wake up and think, they've been slugging it out all night and they're still there now doing this. And yeah, there's this sort of satisfaction in that for me, I suppose, being able to push yourself to those limits and doing it for someone that needs it.
Definitely.
Yeah, well said, mate.
I just want to say as well, so also I'm doing it in memory of my cousin, Ray Pharoah. He unfortunately lost his life last year to leukemia. But so I used to train Charlie quite a lot. These last couple of years, he lost his eyesight, lost his lung capacity. He's down to about 20%. And he used to come to the gym and train with me, and we used to just do light training and stuff like that. But we were always talking about his recovery and what we were going to do when he got better. And one of the biggest things we were going to do, what was driving our training forward was I was going to get him trained up as a strength and conditioning coach, and that was the plan, to then train people that were like him, unfortunate that they were in a bad condition or bad cancer, tumor, whatever it was. He understood where they were coming from, so he could train them. Because he used to love coming to the gym, love it, and it was just like his thing. He just looked forward to every week. He'd come twice a week, so that was our plan. So, kind of, that's another thing that sparked in my head when John asked me. I was thinking, this is like, I've been trying to think of doing something for Charlie, as in a way of like, I know he wanted to help people, so I just feel like this is another way of keeping his memory and keeping his name going. So
yeah,
that was another reason for doing it.
Yeah, definitely. And like we were saying, we've been training together now for the past month, and Ray and I have had some like in-depth conversations through our runs and everything else, and one of the big things that we said is hope, to give someone hope is a massive thing, because sometimes when you lose hope or you've got no hope, then, that's when things can go downhill from there, because you think, well, no one's there, no one's going to help me. You start to lose that, and to be able to give someone hope and keep that hope, then that's a strong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So
Daddy's like, what's this?
So really, if we were to, start obviously wrapping things up, I just wanted you guys to just give us a quick shout as to obviously when the challenge is, when it starts. We'll put some links up on our Instagram page. Will have the link to the donation fundraising that will go on to our Instagram page in our bio.
I'll put it in the description box of the YouTube.
Yeah, cool.
Post as well.
That'd be good. So yeah, guys, if you just give us a quick shout out, so times and dates and things, and obviously I have seen that there's a live feed as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. So there's a live feed that's been set up on Facebook, and I'll keep posting it throughout the course of this week, and people can join that. And it's I'll just get it up here quickly. It is live feed 24-hour Murph for Sian, which is on Facebook, and I'll have a live feed going from there. I think Ray might want to do one from his own transformation, or from the gym, so we could have multiple, but it'll be taking place on Saturday the 12th of September at 9 o'clock in the morning. We plan to start, and we'll go through for 24 hours until 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Yeah, we don't want anyone turning out with a kebab.
Coming in from Kingsley's at 2 a.m.
Salad.
I'm actually happy. It's going to be a pleasure. I'm allowed to come and do a couple with you guys as well at midnight. I think I'm signed in to come and do a couple of Murphs with you as well. So really looking forward to that, and just giving you a bit of a G up, and just seeing. I guess seeing new faces. I think we've worked it where every couple of hours there's going to be some sort of 3 new faces coming into the gym, just to, obviously with social distancing and everything else that's going around, making sure that we're doing all the right things inside the gym. So every couple of hours you're going to get.
Yeah, that's right. Basically every 2 hours, a couple of members are going to come along. People put their names down, so they're just going to come in. They've got 2 hours to do a Murph, and then they obviously move on, and the next 3 people come in. We can only get 3 people in because of the, obviously, like you said, Danny, social distancing, and we keep people in their workout boxes and stuff. So, yeah, that'd be good as well, because there's been a couple of names on there that have really not surprised me, but I'm looking forward to seeing them doing their first Murph, and it'd be good to see them and cheer them on as well as they'd be cheering us on. So
yeah. You've also got Sean's sister that's been putting in a lot of training for this, and she would like to come and take part in a Murph. So that would be a nice thing to see, and see her compete. And like Ray said, for everyone else, it's going to be motivational for us, for people that come down there that think they're not capable of doing it or have never done one, to come down and get a round of Murph, and that motivates us to see that. Definitely.
You pick off people's energy. Do you know what I mean? You see it in a class. People push each other through. Where if they were on their own, they'd probably go not even half the speed that they do. Energy, positive energy is multitude by numbers. You know what I mean? So we'll pick up that push us through.
Yeah, so that community side, we'll probably talk about it in a couple of podcast time, around about the sort of the community side of local gyms and things. So and that's definitely going to be a big player when it comes to the challenge on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap things up there. What we also are looking forward to is we are going to do a part 2 of this podcast, which is actually, I'm going to be chatting to the guys again in maybe a week. It depends. Hopefully they've recovered by then, to just see the aftermath of the 24-hour challenge, and just sort of go through how they felt all the way through the 24 hours, not only physically, mentally, and we'll obviously give you a final total of what's been raised as well for an amazing cause. So guys, John, thank you for coming on. Thank you for making everyone aware. Ray, good to be back. It's good to have the Legion Report podcast back, and we're off to an absolute banger. So guys, thank you again. We look forward to our aftermath next week, and from me and everyone at the Legion Report, good luck guys on Saturday the 12th, and everyone stay tuned through Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Nice one, mate. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.